one of the most important sort of features of bluegrass rhythm guitar has us think a little more back to the how we play. You know, one of our themes on the site is understanding the concept of the how we play affecting the quality of what we play. And so for this tool in our rhythm guitar toolbox in the basic curriculum, I want to talk a little bit about the boom chuck sound. That's what you're going to see most commonly used in strumming and what we call rhythm guitar playing in bluegrass. And it's built on that key movement of down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. The boom chuck sound is going to primarily use the downstrokes. And so if we're understanding that a bar is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, the boom chuck is going to use 1, 2, 3, and 4, the downbeats. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and specifically what's happening in a boom chuck, and I'll use a G chord for this example. The boom defines a bass note, and the chuck defines kind of the answer to that bass note. If we're familiar with bluegrass, you'll hear what the bass plays as far as, you know, the downbeats is oftentimes what they're called, the mandolin chops on the backbeats. In the boom chuck rhythm guitar sound, we're kind of playing both, and it would sound like this. I'll get a metronome going here at 70 beats a minute and explain what's going on here. So I want to be moving in rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 ka-taka, 2 ka-taka. So this is boom chuck rhythm. So I'm hearing a good clear G note, and then the rest of that chord is on beat 2 and 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that my hand is flowing consistently in rhythm. I'm not doing this. I'm committed to that flow. Ta-taka, ta-taka, ta-taka. All right, let me stop the metronome here. One of the things we want to be aware of, just kind of get a little more comprehensive and understanding of this, is that one of the reasons this is important for bluegrass is that in the early days of bluegrass, there wasn't a bass. Like I said earlier, we're kind of playing the notes that you're going to hear in most modern bluegrass situations, what the bass is playing. In the early days of bluegrass and sort of pre-bluegrass and old-time music, there wasn't the big upright bass sound that you hear today, and it was the job of the rhythm guitar player to provide that bass note. And just as it developed over the years, that's where the boom chuck style kind of comes from that we still use today. And that stands in contrast if I'm still, you know, playing we'll get this metronome going here at 70 beats a minute again. I think it's good to just sort of recognize the sound of different styles here. So from our boom chuck, you might see, you know, rhythm guitar like that, or more active strumming like that. And again, let me stop the metronome. That's not wrong. But just again, what's most common in bluegrass is this boom chuck kind of sound. And so as we focus on experiencing this, just what I'm doing here, I encourage folks to examine this. Again, if you're coming into bluegrass from playing other styles, this is a fairly new concept. Maybe it's a good review if you've been playing bluegrass for a long time. And so just to get the ball rolling, we just want to, again, just as we've talked about this, you know, get some of these common chord shapes and just move around, you know, just experience each chord. We're obviously introducing some rhythm right now, so the metronome is really going to help. The way we define success in general with boom chuck is, again, a good clear bass note and a sustaining chuck or strum. And which helps us, you know, bring the how we play and the what we play together. I don't want any note of that C chord, for instance, to be kind of muted or buzzy. I really want to, you know, examine each note of that chord and make sure everything rings nice and true and sustains. And so I'm hearing, again, in our flat picking flow concept, more connection. So the idea of exploring this tool is to just get used to how it feels. As we do this more, we'll internalize more of that feeling of playing a bass note and a strum afterwards. And again, just like any of these tools, the more we use this in songs and understand what it's like to change chords as we're using this boom chuck style, we will build on this concept with more specific, experience and usage, and you'll gain more of a sense of experience and understand within this idea of choice making, how the boom chuck kind of can exist as this real fundamental, part of the experience of the right chords in the right spot with that boom chuck momentum and flow. That really helps define what is bluegrass rhythm guitar.